Welcome back to Smoked Red Barbecue's YouTube channel. Today we are doing a prime brisket from Costco. This was an amazing brisket. We're just going to walk through this step by step here and explain what we're doing. I glossed over some stuff when I was filming it, so my apologies there. But the first thing you're doing with any brisket is you want to trim the excess fat off, as well as and some of the brownish meat you'll see on the meat when it comes out of the package right from the store. Again, I'm going really fast with this cut here and this trimming of this brisket. Essentially is you want to make sure that the brisket is, in fact, maybe aerodynamic and the smoke can roll off and get all sides of the brisket. That's what you want. Now, when I do a brisket, I do salt and pepper. A true Texas style brisket, or more precisely a central Texas style brisket recipe is what I go for usually. And I did 2 half cups of salt and pepper, which makes 1 whole cup. And I just use I think this is a old Weber shaker. Again, definitely not the barbecue rub that from Weber. We just use salt and pepper. And you can, if you want, apply a binder or a liquid to the brisket before you apply your rub. I put on today Worcestershire sauce. It makes it a little more wet, makes the adherence of the salt and pepper that much better. It's when you want to apply that rub to make sure it doesn't come off when you're transferring to the barbecue and while it's cooking. Now, do not be shy with applying the rub on this brisket. This is a huge piece of meat. I think this one was about 15 pounds. Don't quote me. I'm doing this from memory. It's a lot of salt and pepper I'm putting on this thing. And yes, I did make a mess in the kitchen. And don't worry, I cleaned it up afterwards. I often like to do the bottom of the brisket first. Then I can roll it over to the top. Again, apply more Worcestershire sauce. And then go to town with the barbecue rub. I don't rub in the barbecue rub or the salt and pepper too much. What I normally go for is a light pat on all sides just to make sure that the salt or pepper won't be falling off when you're transferring it to the barbecue. Now this next couple steps will go pretty quick, so I just want to explain it before we get there. What we did was we cooked this brisket at 275 degrees with lump charcoal and post oak wood. Normally I would recommend you do chunks of it, but I buy splits from the local hardware store, which makes a very nice resource to use. The split of wood, not only does it provide great smoke flavor, it also provides heat for the fire, so you don't actually have to use that much charcoal. And I have a large tin underneath the brisket as well that was full of water. And the next step after you look at it, probably 6-ish hours later in the morning, they got this on really early in the morning, and now we want to wrap this brisket. You can wrap it in butcher paper or foil. I have come to find I like the texture and flavor. I don't like the texture and flavor that you get when you wrap it with tin foil. That's why I usually now use butcher paper. Again, don't be shy with this thing here. I needed 2 strips of butcher paper laid on top of each other to get this thing fully wrapped up, and then put it back on the barbecue. And then once it's probe tender, maybe a couple hours later, you want to take it off, let it rest in a cooler, and then that's when you unwrap this amazing piece of brisket ready to slice into. Now, you might see here a little bit, I actually had the angle slightly wrong when I was slicing it for the first couple of cuts. But then I corrected myself and got the majority of the slices from the flat, which is a thinner, leaner piece of meat from the brisket, sliced up. And there we go. Just doing some amazing slices. Looked absolutely amazing. Great smoke ring. And sliced up the rest of the flat here. And now, the best thing I like to do is cut from the point. This is going to be the fattier, more flavorful, excuse me, meat from the brisket, and it's full of flavor, full of the bark is just rendered so nicely into the fat of the brisket, especially with the salt and pepper rub. It's just so incredible to get the first bite once you slice things up here. If you're going to do burnt ends, this is the section you would cube up to do those. We're not going to do burnt ends today, but if you're going to do that, this is where you would get them from. And there you have it. Amazing slice of brisket. And there you have it. Again, kind of fast forward the rest of this part here. I want to say thank you so much for watching. I'm sure you have lots of questions after watching this quicker video, but please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll be sure to answer any question you guys have. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.